We ask that you direct your attention to the flag and remain standing for the playing of our national anthem. Tonight's anthem is being performed by Karen Boyle.
Daniel Sally, Gary Turcotte coming back to you live from the Cochran Insurance broadcast booth, PE Center on the campus of Carroll College. And we got a big Frontier Conference doubleheader for you tonight. It's Montana Western, it's Carroll College, and it looks like right now we're going to go ahead and meet the starting lineups for both teams. And we'll go ahead and start off with the Bulldogs of Montana Western. Starting for them, Paige Holmes, a 5'6" guard, redshirt junior coming out of Sealy Swan High School. She's joined by Gracie Meyer, a 5'11" forward, redshirt freshman from Moscow, Idaho. Joining them in the backcourt, Shannon Wooster, number 25, a 5'6" junior guard, coming out of Missoula, Montana, courtesy of Frenchtown High School. And Savannah Bignell, our player to watch tonight, a 5'6" senior guard from Avon, Montana. She attended Capitol High. And in the front court, Mesa King, a 6'1" redshirt sophomore forward, coming out of Big Timber, Montana. And for the Saints, their starting five, it's the usual suspects for Coach Sayers. Danny Wagner, a 5'9" junior guard, our player to watch from Havre, Montana, a captain of this team looking to make a big difference. Christine Denny, a 5'9" junior guard forward combo from Fairfield, Washington. She'll be wearing number 10. Camden Hilborn, a 5'7" sophomore guard from Clancy, Montana, out of Helena High by way of Montana State University. Sienna Swanick, a girl we saw hit some big shots last week against Providence, a 5'9" sophomore from 9 Mile Falls, wearing number 23. And rounding it out, the transfer from Boise State, a Bozeman High grad senior forward, standing at 6'1", number 44, Emerald Toth. Well, Coach, we got a pretty good environment around here for basketball, and tip-off just moments away. We're pretty excited about this.
Well, it is, and we're looking at a 3-1 Western team, and they've been a little bit under the radar, but all of a sudden they're 3-1, and they're coming in here rested. And Carroll is coming in here not rested, clearly not rested. And it'll be interesting to see how Carroll is able to hold up with a real short turnaround.
Yeah, and first game for Carroll, obviously, since Wednesday, and for Western, it is their first game since last Saturday when they beat Montana Tech. So they're taking the floor right now, and it's a battle of two heavyweights in this conference, two teams who've been at the top of the conference for the last few seasons.
And Gracie Meyer is going to jump at center. She's just a redshirt 5'11" freshman.
She goes
Carroll did get the
Swanick.
tip.
Yeah, Carroll wins the tip, and it'll be the Saints starting with possession, working right to left across your dial. Carroll wearing their gray uniforms, purple numbers, gold trim. Western wearing their all-black uniforms, red numbers, white trim. Danny Wagner with it at the top. She kicks to Swanick from the corner for three. That one's long, no good. Rebounded by Paige Holmes, and the Bulldogs are off to the races. Bulldogs working left to right across your dials. It's Wooster who drives it. She goes off the glass, knocks it down, and Western starts off the scoring. 2-0 they lead, 9:27 remaining in the first quarter. It's Hilborn taking it up for the Saints. Denny with it now at the top of the key. Guarded up top by Holmes. She goes inside to Wagner. Wagner kicks it out. Swanek for three. Off the rim, no good. Rebound Toth. Toth loses it. Bignell knocks it loose and picks it up, and it's a jump ball. Possession arrow will favor the Bulldogs. And Coach Turcotte.
Savannah to Bignell. It didn't take her long.
Yeah, it knocks it out of Toth's hands and just dives on that thing on the ground.
Yeah.
Running the point will be Shannon Wooster this time. Her brother Raleigh, of course, the star at Hellgate, and will be going to Utah State next year. Wooster comes off the screen. Picked up by Denny. She kicks it out to Meyer. Meyer puts it on the ground. Back out to Wooster. Wooster drives. Backdoor pass. Shot up off the off the glass, and good by Mesa King. She knocks down two. Bulldogs now up 4-0. Hilborn down the floor running point for the Saints. She gives it off to Denny. Denny picks up her dribble across to Swanek. Swanek to Hilborn. Hilborn drives over to Denny. Denny on the baseline. Gets it out to Wagner. 13 on the shot clock for Carroll. Wagner goes across to Swanek again. Hits off the fingertips of a Western defender. Then off the fingertips of Swanek. Out of bounds, and that's a turnover for the Saints.
Well, the matchup zone is Western is well known for, and they've been living and dying with it this year. And so far, it's paying dividends for Western. Carroll doesn't look very comfortable right now against it.
It'll be Savannah Bignell taking the ball up the court for Western. She gives it off to King. Mesa King on the elbow, guarded by Toth. Kicks it out. Wooster swings it over to Holmes. Holmes drives, guarded by Wagner. Picks up her dribble, gets it out to King. King goes baseline. Kicks it out to Wooster on the wing. 3 on the shot clock. Bignell takes the 3, and that one's good. Savannah Bignell knocks it down, and Coach Sayers wasting no time, taking a timeout. 30-second timeout called. Correction, they're going to go ahead and pull that into a media timeout. So we'll go ahead and step aside for 60 seconds. 7-0, the Bulldogs lead the Saints with 7:55 left in the first here on Rewind 94.9. Back from an early timeout, it's Daniel Sally and Gary Turcotte here in the Cochran Insurance broadcast booth. First game of a Frontier Conference doubleheader between Western and Carroll. Bulldogs lead 7-0 over the Saints on the Capital Collision Center scoreboard. Saints out of the timeout will get it across the court. Hilborn running the point for the Saints. She goes to the elbow to Toth. Toth out to Swanek. Swanek at the top of the key. Pulls it back out. Swanek works her way to the right, gives it off to Hilborn. Hilborn puts it on the ground, finds a backdoor cut, and Denny, pass too high though, hits off her hands, goes out of bounds. Another turnover by the Saints. It's Western basketball. Coach Sayers looking to change it up a little bit. Will sub Jaden Lyman into the ball game. 7-0. Bulldogs lead. 7.5 minutes left in the first quarter, and for the third game in a row, the Saints starting out in a deficit. Taking up the court is Holmes. Over to Wooster. Wooster tries to go over the top to Meyer. Overthrows her a little bit though, takes her out of bounds, and that's a turnover. Carroll gets the ball back.
Carroll likes to front that low post. People think they can lob against it. It's not easy to do.
Lyman running the point for the Saints. She gets it over to Wagner. Wagner on the near wing. Puts it on the ground, gets it over to Lyman. Lyman rolls off the screen from Emerald Toth. She goes to Swanek. Swanek at the top of the key, guarded by Wooster. Over to Denny. Denny pump fakes from 3, puts it on the ground. 3 on the shot clock. Saints got to hurry. Denny puts it on the ground. Deep 3. Off the glass, and it's good. The bank is open. And that three-pointer and all three-pointers tonight by the home team will be sponsored by Jolene Fuzese Lloyd, ex-Carroll three-point ace and current real estate agent with Century 21. She's going to go ahead and donate $10 for each 3, half of it to Carroll, half of it to Family Promise of Greater Helena. 7-3, the Bulldogs lead now after the Denny 3. Mason King with it. She gets it over to Holmes. Holmes tries to post up on Wagner. She's got little time on the shot clock. Puts it off the glass.
Now
and
that's a
knocks it
tough
down.
shot. That girl is pretty good.
Holmes
That's
there.
Paige Holm, a redshirt junior.
Yeah, with a little spin move in the lane.
Yeah, that was really a tough shot.
Lyman at the top of the key for the Saints running point. She gives it over to Toth. Toth to the corner. Swanek pump fakes. She gets to Denny. Denny for 3. And that one's no good. Rebound Toth, and now it's tipped out of bounds. Last touch by the Bulldogs. Ball will stay with the Saints. Maddie Garretts will check in for Carroll, as well as Brindley Fitzgerald checking in for the Bulldogs. Fitzgerald, a sophomore from Dillon, Montana, 5'11" forward for the Bulldogs. Inbound, it goes to Denny. Denny puts it up quick, and she gets it to 9-5. The Bulldogs lead after the bucket from Denny. Running the point, Shannon Wooster. Wooster over to Big Nell. Now to Holmes. Holmes goes to King. Back to Holmes. Holmes rolls off the screen. Backdoor pass. Looking for King. Doesn't find her. It's stolen by Sienna Swanek. Swanek up the floor quickly for the Saints. Kicks out to Denny. Denny accountable for 100% of the offense so far for Carroll tonight. Swanek now over to Garretts. Garretts at the top of the key, goes to the wing to Lyman, over to Swanek in the corner for 3. Off the rim, no good. Rebound Holmes, she'll be fouled by Wagner. Carroll basketball is brought to you in part by your Montana Toyota dealers. John Lagerquist Realtor with Century 21. To experience relentless excellence in your real estate transactions, call John Lagerquist at Century 21. Rutgers Furniture, make the quality choice for your home at Rutgers Furniture. And First Community Bank, working together for you. Molly McDermott entering the game for the Saints, and looks like maybe a move by Coach Sayers to get a little more offense on the court.
And Paige Holm came off and she was tearing up. She got hurt. She's going right to the training room. Paige Holm's a big part of that offense.
Hard fall on that rebound.
Was it a fall? Is that what
Yeah.
happened?
Here's a drive, shot up, and that one's good. Shannon Wooster picking it up for the Bulldogs, going to the lane and knocking it down. 11-5, they lead. Lyman up the floor for Carroll. She goes to Denny up top. Denny finds McDermott. McDermott in a tie-up. That's a jump ball. Possession arrow will keep it with the Saints. Carroll to inbound from the baseline. They'll have Lyman do that. Set up a play. Coach Sayers is calling from the bench. Lyman into Wagner. Wagner looking for Garretts. Instead gives it to Lyman. Lyman sets up the offense. 10 on the shot clock. Saints got to do something. They go to Denny. Looking to play a little iso ball. Nice pump fake by Denny. She drives. Floater. That one's no good. Rebounded by King. Gives it to Wooster. And the Bulldogs are back up the court. Wooster passes it off over to Mack. That's Shani Mack. She kicks it out. Three-pointer up. No good from Fitzgerald. Rebounded by McDermott. McDermott draws the foul. It's going to be Saints basketball. Pair of subs checking into the game. Gracie Meyer back in for Western, and Taylor Sloan back in for Carroll. And Coach Taylor Sloan hit some big clutch shots and free throws.
She's
for the
played
Saints on
very well.
Wednesday.
She has been big help coming off the bench and giving Carroll, especially at crunch time, she's played well.
There's a reason she wears that C on her warm-up shirt. Lyman takes it up for the Saints. Garretts hands it off to McDermott. McDermott at the top of the key. Picks it up, gives it over to Salonen. Salonen to Lyman. Lyman drives baseline. They're going to call foul here. Looks like it. Brindley Fitzgerald called with her first personal. 11-5. Bulldogs lead. 3:50 left in this first quarter. Going pretty quickly here.
Yeah.
Low scoring again for the Saints, but inbound to Wagner. Wagner for 3, and she's got it. Danny Wagner with a big bucket. 11-8 now.
That's 5 points Carroll's gotten off their out-of-bounds plays, their out-of-bounds sets.
Sydney Sheridan running the point for the Bulldogs. I got to cover her as a Capital Bruin last season, a freshman from here in Helena. She gives over to Big Nell. Big Nell goes back into Sheridan. Now out to Big Nell again. Big Nell with a nice looking three-point shot, and she knocks it down.
She's 2 for 2 from the
14-8.
three. I mean, she's not known to be a three-point shooter. At least she wasn't last year. But that's too big when she's hit.
14-8, the Bulldogs lead. Lyman up the court for the Saints again. With it now is Salonen. Salonen over to Wagner. Wagner guarded by Sheridan. Sheridan, one of the more athletic players on the court. Lyman for three. She knocks it down. Another big three-pointer.
Set up by Danny Wagner. Very well set up.
And now the Saints have 3 3-pointers in the first quarter where they had 0 in the first half on Wednesday night. Bulldogs get up the court. It's stolen by Wagner. It was Shani Mack's pass intercepted by the junior out of Havre. Wagner drives, goes up with her left, knocks it down. Another big bucket from Wagner, and we got a 1-point ball game, 14-13. Bulldogs lead.
And Carroll's giving Western a little of their own medicine. Carroll in his own themselves.
Big Nell up the court. Swings it around. Three-pointer up, and that one's no good. It was Fitzgerald who took that one. Rebound by Lyman. Lyman up the floor. Wagner back to Lyman. Over to Salonen. Salonen makes her way to the left wing, cuts it back into the middle. She goes to Lyman again. Lyman to Garretts. Garretts to Salonen. Salonen for three. Got it! The Saints are making a rain now here, and they take their first lead of the game, 16-14 off the three from Salonen. And I like what they're doing here, having Molly McDermott pick up Big Nell defensively.
Well, she's such a big guard. And she, in the front of that zone, she covers a lot of space.
Big Nell kicks it out, three-pointer up, and that one's good. Shani Mack, and we got
people are shooting the
got
lights
a
out.
nuclear war here in the first quarter.
Yeah, people are really filling it up, both teams.
Lyman handling point guard duties again for the Saints. She goes to Salonen. Salonen over to Wagner. Wagner to McDermott. McDermott at the top of the key. Goes back to Salonen. Salonen, Wagner. Wagner pump fakes, puts it on the ground. 6 on the shot clock. Saints got to do something. Salonen takes it, puts it on the ground. Back out to Wagner. Wagner for three. Got it! Danny Wagner, nothing but net. 19-17. The Saints take that lead right back.
I mean, there's some shooting going on.
Gary Wagner, former Carroll quarterback and brother of Danny in the stands, getting very excited for his little sister. We'll have a foul called now on the other end. It was an entry pass inside to Shani Mack. Mack tried to kick it out and got knocked to the ground.
Mass substitutions, both teams substituting 4 players.
4 players for each. In for the Saints now, just go ahead and list all 5 that they got. It's Garretts, Swanek, Hilborn, Denny, and Emma Madsen. And the Bulldogs, looks like they got Wooster out there along with Holmes, who's back in the game, as well as Jenny Weber, Natalie Denning, and I'm missing one. Gracie Myers, the one I didn't say.
Yep.
Yeah. So Gracie Meyer was the one of the 5 who
She was
stayed
the one
in
that
on the
stayed.
court.
Yeah.
And those mass substitutions, I know our stat crew's putting in the overtime when those happen here in the game. 15 seconds left on the shot clock, 49 left on the game clock in the first quarter. Western tries an entry pass. It's knocked loose and stolen by Emma Madsen. Madsen up to Denny, back to Madsen. Madsen drives, goes to put it up, knocked to the ground, no foul.
A lot of contact, has to be a foul.
A lot of contact there is right. The end of the play, though, it'll be out of bounds. Last touched by Western. Carroll will keep it. 21 on the shot clock, 38 on the game clock here in the first. Saints get it inbounded to Madsen. Madsen goes off to Denny. Now to Hilborn, back to Denny. Denny takes her dribbles, drives, spin move. Out to Hilborn, it's knocked loose. Back in the hands of Hilborn, 6 on the shot clock. Saints got to do something. Entry pass from Garretts to Madsen. Madsen goes backdoor to Denny, and it's stolen by the Bulldogs. Shannon Wooster picks it up. She runs the court, kicks it out. Denning drives, puts up a runner, and that one's good. Western ties it up, 19-19. 7 seconds on the game clock. Saints will have one last shot here in the first. Hilborn gets up the court, goes to Madsen. Madsen takes her dribble, finds Hilborn, and they run it out.
You got to know what the time is on the clock, and Emma didn't know.
19-19 on the Capital Collision Center score. We got a tie ball game here at the PE Center. Second quarter action coming up next on Rewind 94.9. Daniel Sally, Gary Turcotte here in the PE Center, campus at Carroll College, inside the Cochran Insurance broadcast booth. 19-19, we got a tie ball game after one quarter. Saints and Bulldogs, a rematch of last year's Frontier Conference Championship game, and it hasn't disappointed so far.
Well, that was just a great first quarter. Both teams really playing well. Low turnovers, lots of made shots.
Wooster up the court to start the quarter for the Bulldogs. She drives, takes it herself off the glass, good for two, 21-19. Hilborn gets it up again for the Saints. She goes over to Wagner. Wagner to Swanek, back to Hilborn. They keep swinging it around the outside. Saints playing a 4-out. Denny goes to Garretts. Garretts, they swing it around. Wagner pump fakes from the corner, picks it up, goes to Swanek. Swanek, Hezzy drives, kicks it to Hilborn for three. Off the rim, no good. Rebound, Wagner. Wagner inside. Denny posts up, spin move off the glass, and it's good. Christine Denny, 4-2, and it's tied once again with 9:14 left in the second quarter. Wooster playing point for the Bulldogs. Gets it over to Weber. Weber over to Denning. Denning. Bulldogs keep swinging it around up high. With it is Wooster again. Wooster, entry pass, turn around off the glass, no good from Meyer. Rebound, kick out to Wooster. Wooster for three, and that one's good. Bulldogs lead 24-21.
Well, Wooster's playing extremely well.
And she's playing hard, I might add.
Yeah.
Hilborn back up the court for the Saints. Hilborn, Denny, Wagner, Swanek, and Garrett's the five on the floor for Coach Sayers. Denny takes it in, kicks it out to Hilborn. Hilborn out to Denny. Denny drives baseline out to Wagner. Wagner pump fakes, swings it out. Swanek open look for three, no good. Rebound by Wooster. And Wooster is back up the court for the Dogs. The Dogs get it up. It's Wooster. Wooster over to Meyer. Meyer on the elbow, guarded by Garretts. She goes up and under, kicks it out to Wooster. Wooster, inside pass to Meyer. Meyer loses it after the miss, and it's rebounded by Garretts. Good hustle by Garretts, the redshirt freshman. She gets it over to Hilborn. Hilborn drives off the glass, no good, but she'll be fouled, and she'll go to the line for two shots.
Nice little change of pace there.
Hilborn step into the line, and one thing about Camden Hilborn, she's never afraid to attack the hoop.
No, and she used a little change of pace, and that enabled her to get her shoulder by. Sometimes instead of always going 100 miles an hour, you're better off to slow down to about 60 and then kick it up to 100.
Yeah. Hilborn at the line now. She'll take her first. She does, and it's no good. Saints picking up where they left off at the free throw line on Wednesday night. Not a good night shooting in general for them, but like I said, they still came out with a win 56-54. Hilborn back for one more at the free throw line. She puts it up, and that one's no good. So 0 for 2 from Hilborn. Holmes gets the rebound, and that's going to be foul on Hilborn. They'll get it for a little push there. That's the first team foul for the Saints here in the second quarter. They still trail by 3, 24-21. Up the court is Wooster again. Wooster over to Holmes. Holmes to the newly checked in Gopher. Gopher back to Wooster. Wooster gets it to the wing. With it is Holmes. Holmes inside to King. King guarded by Toth. She loses it, stolen by Denny. Denny off to the races in transition. She leads the charge for the Saints. Gets it out to Swanek. Swanek pump fakes, puts it on the ground and slows it down a little bit. Over to Wagner on the wing. Now to Toth. Toth with it at the top of the key. She goes to Swanek. Swanek open look for three. Got it! And it was only a matter of time before Swanek was going to bury one of those open looks.
Well, she's been Carroll's most consistent three-point shooter last couple of weeks.
24-24. We got a tie ball game on the Capital Collision Center scoreboard. 6:50 left in the first half. Gopher over to Wooster. Wooster guarded by Swanek. Over to Holmes. Holmes on the wing, guarded by Wagner. It's stolen again by Denny. Saints have numbers in transition again. Denny leading the charge. She stops, kicks it out. Wagner pump fakes from three, puts it on the ground, goes out to Hilborn. Hilborn for three. Off the rim, no good. Rebound, Toth. And Toth draws a foul after she gets the rebound. That'll be a Saints inbound from the baseline. Mesa King's first foul in the game, second team foul in the quarter for the Bulldogs. Fitzgerald will check back in, and it will be Hilborn to inbound. Hilborn looking for a motion. She gets it into Wagner. Wagner drives, spin move, kicks it out to Hilborn again. Hilborn inside to Toth. Toth posts up on the block, spins around, gets it out to Hilborn. 10 on the shot clock for the Saints. Here comes Hilborn, kicks. Denny for three. Got it! Christine Denny going to three. 27-24, the Saints lead.
Great pass by Swanek. Baseline drift. She skipped it along that baseline.
Wooster up the court again. 6 minutes left in the first half. 27-24, Carroll on top. Here's a shot up in the key off the block, and that was Brinley Fitzgerald to knock it down off the entry pass from who else but Wooster. Hilborn back up the court for the Saints. She drives, gives it off to Toth. Toth on the block, spin move off the glass, and that one's good.
Very nice move by Emerald there.
Yeah, 2 points for Toth, the senior, on that block, and that spin move's paying off.
Beautiful.
Wooster up the court, goes to King. King to Gopher. Gopher puts it on the ground, drives, kicks. Wooster in the corner. She goes to the top to Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald posts up, picks up her dribble, gets out to King. King from mid-range, and she knocks it down. Big shot from Mesa King, 29-28. Hilborn, she gets it up the court, goes to Wagner. Wagner to Swanek. Swanek calling for the offense. A motion, Denny up to the elbow. Denny gets it.
Oh,
she misses. It's rebounded.
She got hammered from behind.
Yeah, rebounded by the Bulldogs. That was Lily Gopher pulling that one down. Here's Wooster. Wooster goes to Gopher. Gopher drives, posts up on Denny, spin move off the glass, and that's good. And Gopher gives the Bulldogs a 30-29 lead. 4.5 minutes remaining in the first half. Hilborn leading the offense again for the Saints. Hilborn to Wagner. Wagner goes to Swanek. Swanek to Hilborn. Hilborn inside. Toth posts up. Backdoor pass looking for Swanek. It's stolen by Holmes, and Holmes, before she can get it to a teammate, steps on the baseline out of bounds. Media timeout called on the floor. So we'll step aside here for 60 seconds. 30-29. The Bulldogs lead the Saints here on Rewind 94.9 and KCAP.com. Daniel Sally back in the Cochran Insurance broadcast booth, joined by the Hall of Famer Gary Turcotte. 30-29, Western leads Carroll in the first game of this Frontier Conference doubleheader. Lyman inbounds to Wagner. Out of the timeout, it's Lyman, Wagner, Swanek, Salonen, and Toth on the court. A taller lineup for Coach Sayers. The Saints moving around. It's Wagner on the wing. Wagner to Lyman. Lyman to Swanek. Swanek loses it, and it goes out of bounds. Hits off her shin, and that'll be a turnover with 4 minutes left in the second quarter. Taking the ball up the court for the Bulldogs is Savannah Bignell, Bignell gets it up, goes over on Swanek, turns around, kicks it out. Fitzgerald with it. Fitzgerald puts it on the ground, tries to pick up her dribble. That foot slides, and we have a travel.
And we haven't had very many mistakes made by either team. Very mistake-free, high quality of basketball.
Only the best from these two Frontier Conference powerhouse programs that we're lucky to have in-house tonight as Lyman gets it over to Swanek. Swanek on the wing. Over to Wagner. Wagner takes the three. Got it! Danny Wagner continues her party for three. 32-20. The Saints lead the Bulldogs. Wooster down the other end of the court for the Bulldogs. She gives it over to Meyer. Meyer hands it off to Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald over the wing. It's Wooster again. Foul called. And looks like it's going to be on Danny Wagner as Meyer tried to separate, and I believe Wagner latched on a little bit, and that's what created the contact.
A lot of physical play down there at the post between those two.
Inbounding is Big Nell. Big Nell looking for Wooster. It's tipped by Swanek, stolen by Salonen. Saints get it back. They lead by 2. Salonen to Lyman. Lyman over to Salonen, back to Lyman. She hands it off. Little weave offense for the Saints as Wagner gives it off to Lyman on the corner. Lyman drives and draws the foul.
Carroll's trying to attack that matchup zone of Westerns on the baseline, and that is the most vulnerable spot. When you throw the ball to the baseline, their post player has to come all the way away from the basket, and those are their least mobile players.
To inbound will be Lyman for the Saints. She goes to Swanek. Swanek to Salonen. Salonen to Denny. Denny at the top of the key. Goes back to Salonen. Salonen inside to Denny. Denny takes it out to the elbow. Goes inside to Toth. Toth backdoor pass Salonen. Salonen pump fakes and it's good. 2 points for Taylor Salonen. 34-30 the Saints lead. Wooster up the court for the Bulldogs. She drives, kicks it out. Mesa King with it now on the baseline. She goes to Big Nell. Big Nell tries for the entry pass. It's knocked loose by Salonen, but she'll get called for a foul. 34-30. 2:29 left in the first half. 3 team fouls apiece now after that one, and we'll have some subs into the game now as Maddie Garretts enters for the Saints and Denning and Holmes enter for the Bulldogs.
Daniel, both teams are fairly deep. They're going 8-9 players.
A lot of bench action tonight.
A lot of girls that could contribute.
Wooster inbounds for the Dogs. She gets it into Holmes. Holmes at the top of the key. Passes it off. Here's a drive from Wooster. Wooster goes up off the glass. Rare miss from Wooster. Rebounded by Garretts. Here's Denny up the floor. Denny to Swanek on the wing. Swanek, entry pass Salonen, gets it out to Denny. Denny drives, kicks. Lyman from the corner for 3. Off the rim, no good. Looks like they'll call a foul here. It'll be on either Denny or Garretts. They'll get Garretts for the foul. Trying to get the rebound a little too much over the top for her, and that'll be the Saints' 4th team foul with 2 minutes left in the half. Wooster up the court for the Dogs. Gets it over to Holmes. Holmes to Denning. Denning drives, up and under, goes up with it. Oh, and it bounces off the rim and goes in for the Bulldogs.
And that was a very fortunate bounce. She actually missed that quite a bit left.
34-32. The deficit is back to 2 points for the Bulldogs. Saints in the lead with 1:38 left in the half. Denny drives, picks up her dribble, goes out to Lyman. Lyman working her way back to the top of the key. She goes to Swanek. Swanek takes her dribble over to Garretts. Garretts to Lyman. Lyman drives, and she'll draw the foul. That's going to be a block called on Savannah Bignell.
When Carroll gets the ball to the corner and drives, they're very successful because the post player is out trying to guard one of Carroll's guards, and that's a mismatch for Carroll.
For Bignell, that's her second. Denny with the quick play off the inbounds pass, and she gets it for 2.
That's 10 points off inbound plays for Carroll.
Saints now leading by 4. Savannah Bignell leading the charge for this Western offense. She passes it off to Wooster. Wooster over to Denning, back to Wooster. Wooster rolls off the screen, gets it back. Denning takes the 3 from the wing. No good. That one goes long into the arms of Swanek. 56 seconds left in the half. It's Swanek up the floor for the Saints. Kicks it. Denny to Lyman. Lyman for 3. Off the rim, no good. Wooster gets the long rebound. She's got all the momentum going down the court. She kicks it out. But before she kicks it out, it'll be a blocking foul on Jaden Lyman.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That block charge is the hardest call in basketball. That easily could have gone the other way.
Yeah.
Whatever he saw, he saw. I don't think she was in the restricted, Daniel. I think she was outside the restricted, but maybe he felt like she didn't give her enough room.
Well, Lyman will get called for the foul, and it'll be Wooster shooting free throws. Her first one is up, and it's good. 36-33. Wooster will have one more at the line. Ref gets it back to Wooster.
Coach Sayers has given the officials that made that call an earful.
Yeah, Coach Sayers is not one to hold back on stuff like that. 36-34, the Saints get the ball back. 40 seconds left in the quarter. Up the court is Lyman. A very up-tempo first half we've seen tonight as Salonen goes to Garrett's. Garrett's baseline, and we'll have a charge now on this end as Garrett's tried to post up, gets called for it, knocking to the ground Gracie Meyer.
Now she had a wide open little 8-foot jump shot, and she turned that down and bounced it into trouble and charged.
25 seconds left in the first half. Bulldogs likely will play for the last shot unless a better look presents itself. Big Nell picked up by Swanek at half court. Swanek knocks it loose. It's on the ground. Big Nell picks it up. It's loose again, stolen by Lyman with 8 seconds. Now it's back on the ground, and there's a jump ball. Possession arrow will favor the Saints. And with 6 seconds left, the Saints will get the ball back. Coach Sayers will send Danny Wagner back in.
Good defense by Bignell there.
Inbounding is Salonen.
And Sienna caused that turnover.
Swanek, one of the better on-ball defenders on this court. Swanek will get the inbound. 5 on the clock. 3 on the clock for Swanek. She drives, puts up a runner. No good at the buzzer. And at the half, your score, 36-34. The Saints lead the Bulldogs. And when we come back, it'll be the Carroll College Halftime Show, brought to you by Kevin Dunn and Terry White, financial advisors at Dunn Financial Solutions. We'll have a surprise visitor for you as well, coming up next on Rewind 94.9 and online at kcap.com. Swanek in the wing. Swanek back to Hilborn. Hilborn crosses over, gets it to Swanek. 9 on the shot clock for the Saints. Swanek, long pass to Wagner. Wagner's 3 is blocked by Big Nell. Hits off Wagner's shoulder, rebounded by Big Nell. Big Nell off to the races. She kicks it out. With it is Holmes. Holmes to Big Nell. Big Nell out to the corner to Meyer. Meyer posts up on Denny. She goes up with it off the glass, and it's no good. Rebound Swanek. It's a tie ball game, of course, after King's bucket. 36-36. 9 minutes left in the third quarter. Swanek on the wing over to Denny in the corner. Denny drives, kicks, and Hilborn had already cut in when that pass took flight. Miscommunication leads to a turnover, 36-36. It's Bulldog basketball.
That first 3 minutes of the second half, that's such an important time. Who's sharp and who isn't?
Wooster, who's been sharp all game, will take it up the floor for the Bulldogs. She goes to King on the elbow. King over to Wooster. Wooster puts it on the ground, takes it to the rack. Backdoor pass underneath to King. King misses the easy look, and it's rebounded by Toth. Toth, outlet pass to Denny. Denny up the court. Swanek to Wagner in the corner. Wagner back to Swanek, over to Hilborn. Hilborn calls for the play. Saints motion around, backdoor cut. Wagner gets the pass from Hilborn, knocks it down for 2. Saints lead 38-36. 8:13 left in the third quarter. It's Big Nell taking the ball up for Western. And Big Nell, as she looks to pass, she travels.
Yeah, Mesa King was a little late breaking up to the top of the key there, threw the timing off.
A little extra hesitation. Danny inbounds to Hilborn. Hilborn running point for the Saints. Goes to Toth. Toth back to Hilborn. Hilborn drives, kicks. Wagner up top, over to Swanek. Swanek pump fakes. Back to Hilborn, over to Wagner. Wagner inside. It's Swanek. Swanek pump fakes, puts it up, and that one rolls in. Sienna Swanek for 2. The Saints lead again by 4, 40-36. Big Nell up the floor. Here's a drive from Wooster. Wooster from the wing goes to the middle, gets fouled on the shot, and she'll go to the line for 2 free throws.
Oh, Wooster, when she takes the ball to the basket, something's good's going to happen for Western. She's so under control, and she gets good angles on her shots.
Carroll Basketball is brought to you in part by Placer Motors. Your Helena Subaru dealer is Placer Motors, family owned for over 75 years, as Wooster makes her first. Capital Collision Center. Montana State law says it's your vehicle and your choice where to have it repaired. Choose Capital Collision Center. Furniture Showroom. Why pay more? Every day is a great day to buy new home furnishings at Furniture Showroom. Sorry, I cut you off there,
Did
Coach.
Wooster play at Frenchtown, or did she play at Missoula? Do you know?
She played at Frenchtown High.
She did.
So I'm not sure if the Woosters are originally from Frenchtown or what the deal is, but she played at Frenchtown, and she's really good at basketball. Up the floor is Denny. Denny to Wagner, back inside to Denny. Mid-range J, no good. Rebound Big Nell. Big Nell off to the races in transition. She drives, kicks it out. Wide open 3 for Meyer, and that one's off the rim, no good. Swanek goes for the rebound. She gets it on the ground, knocks it loose to Wagner, and Wagner corrals it for the Saints. Wagner will give it to Hilborn. Hilborn sets up the offense. Hilborn entry pass to Toth. Toth posts up, puts it up with her left. No good. Rebound brought down by Meyer. Meyer to Holmes. Holmes to Big Nell. Big Nell on the wing. Big Nell takes the 3. Off the rim, no good. Rebound Hilborn. 6:41 left in the third quarter. Hilborn up the floor quickly for the Saints. She kicks it out. Swanek pump fakes. Over to Hilborn. Hilborn to Wagner. Wagner on the far wing. Wagner looking for something. She picks up her dribble. She looks to enter it to Denny, and it's stolen by Big Nell. Big Nell off to the races. Behind the back, nice move. Backdoor pass, and it's knocked loose by Hilborn out of bounds. Bulldog basketball. But wow, Big Nell going behind the back and throwing that bounce pass back door. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, she's got skills.
Some good transition basketball. Big Nell will inbound. She goes to Wooster. Wooster on the wing. She drives up and under. Shot no good. Rebounded by Swanek. Swanek up to the other end quickly. She goes to Hilborn. Hilborn, entry pass to Swanek, kicks out. With it is Wagner in the corner. Wagner to Hilborn. Hilborn to Denny. Denny over to Wagner on the wing. Wagner back to Swanek. Swanek looking for something. 6 on the shot clock for the Saints. Hilborn for 3. Got it! Camden Hilborn from downtown, and the Saints lead by 5. That's
Good
the biggest
patience
lead of
by
the ball
Carroll
game.
that time. Really good patience against that matchup zone.
43-38, 5:34 remaining in the third quarter. Bulldogs up the floor. It's Big Nell. Big Nell drives by Hilborn. It's blocked by Hilborn, but a little contact on the wrist there will send Big Nell to the line. Carroll basketball is brought to you in part by Money Train Casino. For the best happy hour and huge wins, all aboard the Money Train. Overland Express Restaurant and Lounge, your all-American family-style restaurant, serving the Helena community since 1975. Big Nell's first free throw is up, and that one's good. And I'll tell you, Sierra Big Nell, she's worth the price of admission.
Yes, she is. Yeah.
She's bringing it tonight.
I wonder why they don't want to let him substitute after.
Maybe is the shooter coming out? No, Big Nell makes them both. The shooter's not coming out. I'm not really sure what the thought process is there.
I think that.
Because what do you do if they miss the free throw?
Yeah, then you don't get your subs in.
Salonen inbounds the Lyman. No harm done as the subs don't enter do enter the game after the second make. Salonen to the corner to Swanek. Swanek over to Garrett. Garrett gets knocked on a pump fake, but she gives over Salonen for 3. Salonen's 3 is no good. Rebounded Big Nell. And willing to bet Big Nell will take it coast to coast. She does. She passes it off to Mesa King. Mesa King does a little turnaround on the block, puts it in for 2, and just like that, it's a 1-point ball game once again.
Nice play by
43-42.
Mesa King. Good body control there.
Mesa King, a very impressive forward out of Big Timber, Montana. Elvis Cohen, my good friend and former Carroll football player from Big Timber. It's a great town. Very windy there, though. Drove by the other day. Taylor Salonen enters to Swanek. Swanek gets fouled. And that'll be on Wooster. Sheridan checking in alongside Denning. An immediate timeout called. So we're going to go ahead and step aside for 60 seconds. Carroll leads 43-42 on the Capital Collision Center scoreboard. We'll be back in 60 here on Rewind 94.9. Coming back from the timeout, it's Daniel Sally and Gary Turcotte here in the Cochran Insurance broadcast booth inside the PE Center on the campus of Carroll College, where the Saints lead 43-42. Lyman will inbound from the baseline. She gets it into Wagner. Wagner thinks about it from the wing. She decides to dribble and give it off to Garrett. Garrett's at the top of the key, puts it on the ground over to Swanek. Swanek goes to Wagner. Wagner inside out to Lyman. Lyman 3 is good from the corner. And just like that, the Saints' 1-point lead is now a 4-point lead.
Very well executed by Carroll.
4:15 left in the third quarter. Mesa King puts it on the ground, kicks it out, 3-pointer up, and that one's no good from Paige Holmes. A rare big miss by Holmes as it's rebounded by the Saints, and Swanek leads the charge for the Saints. Lyman gives it off to Wagner. Wagner on the wing. Wagner having a great game with 13 points tonight. She gives it off to Swanek. Swanek cross court to Wagner. Wagner in the corner. She pulls up, mid-range J, and that one's good, and Danny Wagner is on fire.
She can feel it right now.
48-42, 3:40 left in the third quarter. Big Nell gets it up the court for the Bulldogs, gives it off to Sheridan. Sheridan, the Capital High grad, passes it over to Denning. Denning up top, gives it to Sheridan. Sheridan goes to Big Nell. 9 on the shot clock for the Bulldogs. Big Nell drives, puts it on the ground, backdoor pass Mesa King puts it up, has a good look, is fouled, but doesn't make the shot, so she'll have 2 shots at the line.
Good execution of that high on-ball screen and roll. And they just run that very well. I think that's something they must practice a lot. Carroll, defending the dribble drive, we talked about the dribble drive offense that Western runs well. Carroll's switching a little bit more, and that is helping them stay in front of those Western drivers. Those girls can really put the ball on the floor and get to the rim.
King's first free throw is up and good. And don't forget that Carroll basketball is brought to you in part by Eagle Tire and Auto Service. Understanding customer needs yesterday, today, and every day across from Eagle Loop Express on North Montana. And Mattress Firm, Montana's largest Tempur-Pedic retailer, where it's easy to get a great night's sleep.
Mesa King just made both free throws, and she scored 1,000,000 points at Big Timber. She did.
She is a phenomenal player for this Western team. They went from having Bree King to Mesa King. Nice little turnover there for them.
They had 2 Kings last year.
Yeah, had them both. Saints swing it around at the top. They get it across. Hilborn has it. She goes to Salonen in the corner. Salonen drives, kicks to Hilborn. Hilborn for 3. Off the rim, no good. Rebound King. King to Bignell. Bignell outside to Holmes. Holmes over to Denning. Denning drives, picks it up, looks to kick it out to Sheridan. She does. Sheridan hands it off to Bignell. Bignell drives, entry pass, and that's a nice little backdoor find as Mesa King puts it in for 2.
Bignell went down, and she does have a knee problem. She just went down hard, but she is so tough.
Yeah, she's up and heading down the court.
I think she probably tweaked it a little bit there. Coach took her out.
Yeah, and even if it's just a hard thud to the floor.
Yeah.
Well, Wooster will come in, give her a break. Hopefully we'll see Bignell back in the game.
I'm sure we will.
Fun player to watch. 48-46. The Saints lead, though, with 2:20 left in the third quarter. And we got just another great Carroll women's basketball game as Hilborn gets it on the wing. And it shows you how tough the Frontier Conference is as Hilborn goes to Salonen, back out to Hilborn. Hilborn drives. No look pass to Garrett's. Off the glass, and it's good. Set up and finish. Hilborn to Garrett's.
Beautiful pass by Hilborn there.
Holmes up the court. She gives it off to Wooster, and Wooster drives, puts up a floater, and knocks it down. 50-48. It's back to 2 points. Some great sound offense from both teams tonight as Lyman runs the point for the Saints. 50-48, 1:45 left in the third. Hilborn in the corner, spin move, drives, no look pass again to Lyman. Lyman swings it out to Wagner for 3. In and out, tough roll for Wagner. Foul called. Garrett's did a good job getting in position, and as Mesa King went to get the rebound, she fouled Garrett.
Carroll has been in a very efficient offensive rebounding team. You can tell that Coach Woolley has worked on boxing out because they are really trying to find him.
Checking into the game is Gracie Meyer for the Bulldogs.
Now Western is smaller now.
Lyman inbounds from the baseline to Wagner. Wagner to Salonen. Salonen over to Hilborn. Hilborn guarded by Sheridan. She goes into Wagner, outside to Hilborn again. Hilborn to Lyman. Lyman drives corner to the baseline, tries to find it to Salonen, and Salonen, a little miscommunication there. Pass goes long out of bounds.
Well, Jaden likes that baseline. She likes to drive baseline and skip it along the baseline. That time she just didn't quite have a good enough alley to pass it.
50-48. Carroll leads Western. Wooster up the floor. Rolls off the screen. Gives it over to Denning. Denning drives on Salonen. She puts it up in a nice move to the hoop by Denning. That's 2, and we got a tie ball game.
Very nice.
50-50. Saints and Bulldogs tied. 1 minute left in the third quarter. Lyman over to Hilborn. Now to Salonen. Salonen back to Lyman. 15 on the shot clock for the Saints. Lyman goes back to Wagner. She passes it back to Lyman again. Lyman over to Hilborn. Hilborn drives, kicks. Lyman for 3. Off the rim, no good. Sheridan saves it, and then she throws it to the hands of Garrett's. Correction. They saved it over to Denning. Denning and Garrett's went head-to-head for the ball, and they'll call foul on Garrett's.
What, they called a foul?
Yes, they did. They got Garrett's. That'll be her 4th personal foul, too, before the fourth quarter. So Coach Sayers rolling the dice with Garrett's playing with 3 fouls, and for that to be your 4th foul,
that was pretty weak.
Yeah, that is pretty weak.
Yeah, that looked like a jump ball at the worst.
Wooster up the court for the Dogs. 22 on the shot clock, 28 on the game clock. And an offensive foul called on this end as Coach Turcotte will pick up the loose ball and pass it back over to Christine Denny. 25 seconds left on the game clock, and this time the Saints will have another opportunity to set up for their last shot. 50-50, 20 seconds left on the clock. Salonen to Lyman. Lyman entry pass to Denny. Denny looks for Salonen, and that one's knocked loose and stolen by the Bulldogs. It's Holmes. Holmes up the court, and that's stolen by Lyman. And before Lyman can pass it off, she steps out of bounds. So it'll be Bulldog basketball. 9 seconds left in the third quarter. Inbounding is Holmes. Holmes goes to Wooster. Wooster on Lyman. Wooster drives, looks to kick. Shot up by Meyer, no good at the horn, and that'll take us into the fourth. Correction. Oh, no, they're going to let it. They're going to let it go, and it'll be 50-50 at the end of the third quarter on the Capital Collision Center scoreboard. We got a tie ball game, folks. Who will win? Find out next in the fourth quarter here on Rewind 94.9 and on KCAP.com.
Drum roll, please. And then oh, that's two. Back. Okay, and if I butcher your name, I'm so sorry. Emma Lambert, come on down! Emma? Oh, here she goes. Congratulations, Emma.
Don't forget you can win a scholarship at each of the Carroll games this year, including the men's game tonight. If you've signed up already, you'll automatically be entered to win the scholarships.
This is Daniel Sally, joined by Gary Turcotte here in the Cochran Insurance broadcast booth. And like Coach Turcotte just mentioned, 4 guards on the floor for Carroll to start out the half as they'll be on offense.
Christine Denny would be the only post player, and she's pretty much a combo player.
She's a guard by trade, really.
Yeah.
That's what she was recruited as. As Lyman gives it over to Wagner. Small lineup for the Saints. And something tells me Coach Sayers is going to want to get out and run.
Well, she is, and then Western is not a very big team either, so that matches up with them a little bit better too.
After the foul, the Saints will inbound. It's Lyman. Lyman to Wagner. Over to Denny. Denny to Hilborn. Inside. Swanek turn around from mid-range. No good. Rebound brought down by Wooster. Wooster. Quick drive. Kick. Sheridan, the Capital Bruin, passes it off to Wooster. Wooster picked up by Hilborn. Here's a drive, this time by Denning, and her shot is up and no good, but a foul on Christine Denny.
Christine was in pretty good shape there, and then right at the last she reached. And teams that run dribble drive, Jason, they get to the foul line more than their opponents normally. And they just keep attacking that rim, and pretty soon you're reaching and fouling and getting blocking fouls.
Denning's first free throw is up and good. And something cool, with Helena spotlight is Sydney Sheridan from Capital and Camden Hilborn from Helena High, both on the court right now. And Coach Eric Peterson in the crowd.
That's
for
interesting,
Helena High.
And his Helena High team.
Yeah, they got everyone here. Saints drawing a big crowd as the second free throw is no good. 51-50. The Bulldogs lead the Saints. Here's Wagner. Wagner on the wing. Entry pass. Denny kicks it out. Swanek from the corner for 3. Got it. Inside out once again. Easy money for the Saints. They lead by 2.
That's the highest percentage shot you're going to get is an inside out 3.
9 minutes left in the ball game. Saints lead by 2. Here's a drive by Wooster. Wooster, floater, baseline, no good. Long rebound by Jaden Lyman. She picks up her dribble quickly and clumsily, gives it off to Hilborn. Saints in good shape as they lead by 2. Denny. Denny goes to Swanek in the corner. Back inside to Wagner. Wagner inside out again. She goes to Swanek. Swanek finds Denny on the wing for 3. No good. Denny gets her own rebound. Gives it out to Hilborn. Hilborn to Swanek. And Swanek is good from downtown. 56-51. The Saints lead by 5.
And Daniel, the 5-guard lineup now of Carroll, you can see the little bit better ball handling, little bit better passing, higher quality shots.
Timeout called by Western, 32nd, and so we'll go ahead and, correction, they're going to extend that to immediate. We'll go ahead and step aside for 60 seconds. Saints lead 56-51 on Rewind 94.9. Daniel Sally and Coach Gary Turcotte here on the call for you right now. 56-51. The Saints lead the Bulldogs. We got a great game here, folks, with 8:25 remaining in the contest.
And pretty much both teams, Daniel, with guards in the ball game, it's kind of matching up. Lots of good guards out there. 5 guards.
Wooster up the court to start off the break from the timeout. She goes to Sheridan. Sheridan off to Meyer. Meyer drives, and she's out of control. That's going to be a charge. 56-51 at Saints ball.
And
was that Lyman there?
Jaden Lyman once again taking a charge.
And that was a big hit. It looked like she caught a little forearm
She
there.
leads the world in taking charges. Yeah, she's amazing.
It's like her and Dennis Rodman are up on the all-time rankings. Swanek on the wing, up the court for the Saints. Corner 3 from Hilborn, and that one's good. Camden Hilborn, credit Swanek with the assist, and the Saints lead is up to 8. 59-51. Here's a quick drive and dish. Wooster looking for Meyer. Meyer's shot is blocked, but she brings down the rebound. She goes out to Sheridan. Sheridan to Wooster. Wooster on the drive. Out to Denning. Denning to Sheridan. Sheridan drives it, puts it up with her left. Shot no good. Good defense there by Denny. And Denny brings down the rebound. 7:25, and now the Saints lead by 8. They're in the driver's seat. 7:20. It's Wagner. Wagner over to Hilborn. Hilborn on the wing.
Ooh.
She looks inside for Swanek, and that one's stolen. It's Sierra Bignell. Bignell up the floor. Posts up on Lyman, puts it up, draws the foul, and will go to the line for 2.
Careless turnover by Camden there. Just early in the shot clock, and she tried to just thread the needle, and that's, she doesn't make very many mistakes. She's making less than she was earlier, but that was one you don't want to make. Plenty of time on the shot clock.
Mesa King back in the game for Western, and Carroll basketball is brought to you in part by D.A. Davidson and Company. Free throw up and good. They believe in hands-on investing in students and financial education. Each year since 1985, giving $50,000 to college and university of investment teams. HCO Indoor Shooting Range and Gun Store, your state-of-the-art indoor shooting range offering 8 shooting lanes in a controlled atmosphere. So if the free throws are good. 59-53, the Saints lead. And Slonin checking in again after the second free throw, so not sure what's up with that. I'll have to figure that out. But Lyman up the court for the Saints running point. Nonetheless, she goes to Denny. Denny to Hilborn. Hilborn in the corner. Makes her way to the middle of the court. Inside to Denny. Denny puts it on the ground, goes underneath the basket. She loses it, but Salonin's after it on the ground. Jump ball, possession arrow, favors Montana Western. It's Bulldog basketball. 59-53, Saints lead. 6:45 left in this ball game. And don't forget, folks, coming up after the contest, we'll have the post-game show built by Builders First Source, and then we'll go right back into it for the Carroll men's game. Wooster up the floor. Dog swinging around. With it is Holmes. Holmes to Bignell, back to Holmes. Here's Wooster with it. Wooster drives. It's knocked loose by the Saints. Wooster gets it back. Now a loose ball. Hustle to the baseline for it, and it'll be out of bounds. Ball will stay with Western. Garrett's will check in for the Saints.
I don't know who's supposed to come out.
Yeah, someone's got to come out.
Oh,
it'll be Denny. Miscommunication there, but everything's good as Garrett's will guard the inbounds play. Holmes throws a long pass. Jump ball. Jaden Lyman going up like Randy Moss, but it ends up in the hands of Big Nell. Big Nell drives, and they're going to call a block there, and not sure if I agree. Swanek was waiting for it. Goes to the ground. Big Nell will go to the line for 2 shots.
Well, Big Nell, she's going to come up with that loose ball, and then she's going to go to the hole, and then I think she's made all her free throws tonight. She's really, really holding Western in the ball game right now.
Big Nell's first free throw is up and good. Carroll basketball is brought to you in part by Capital City Realty. When service matters, call on the home team. A1 Rentals, they've got the equipment you need for every project on Cedar Street next to Party Plus. And Gold Island Casino, the luck starts here. Big Nell makes both free throws, and just like that, Carroll's 8-point lead is cut to 4, 59-55. Lyman takes it up the court and gives it to Hilborn. It's Swanek with it now. Swanek rolls off the screen from Garrett's. She picks up her dribble, goes to Salonen. Salonen over to Lyman. Lyman to Hilborn. Hilborn to Swanek. Swanek pump fakes, puts it on the ground. 8 seconds left on the shot clock. Swanek drives runner, and a blocking foul is called on Big Nell. Swanek to the line for 2.
Nice take by Sienna right there. Shot clock running down, under control.
Sense of urgency there, but nothing out of control, like you said. Here's a free throw from Swanek, and that's up and good. Danny Wagner waiting at the score, so he'll check back in. And Swanek has just been such a mature player since she got onto this campus.
Yeah.
Swanek's second free throw is up and good. Wagner will check in for Lyman. And, you got to coach Swanek last year. What kind of player is she?
Well, she's one of the best athletes that I've ever coached, male or female. Just tremendous body control, hops, and she's very intense. She's a competitor.
Up the floor is Wooster. Wooster off to King. King to Big Nell. Big Nell, pull-up jumper from the free throw line, no good. Long rebound brought down by Hilborn. 61-55. Saints looking to build on their lead. They've led by as many as 8 points in this game. Garrett's gets it on the baseline. Backdoor pass. Salonen gets it, and she knocks it down for 2. 63-55.
That was a tough shot. She was right under the basket. I didn't know if she could get it over the rim.
Big Nell up the court for the Dogs. She looks to give it off to Wooster. Wooster falls to the ground, slides it out to her teammate Holmes. Holmes drives, takes it herself, goes off the glass, and knocks it down for 2. 63-57, it's back to a 6-point ball game. Hilborn running point. Goes to Wagner, back to Hilborn. Now to Garrett's. Garrett's takes her dribble. And Garrett's playing with 4 fouls. Swing around to Salonen. Salonen from the corner for 3, and it's good. Taylor Salonen coming up clutch for the second game in a row, and the Saints lead is at its largest, 9 points. Pass on the other end, knocked out of bounds by Wagner. It'll stay with the Bulldogs. Media timeout called. 4:36 ran in the ball game. Saints lead 66-57. Stay tuned, folks. We have the end of the game coming up for you next here on Rewind 94.9.
That's a good way to put it.
Daniel Sally back here with Coach Turcotte in the Cochran Insurance broadcast booth. 66-57, Carroll leads. And we were just talking about how big of a crowd it is here and how the Carroll fans, they bring it week in, week out.
Helena really supports the team. The student body's in force tonight. Carroll's back in school. Just a great atmosphere for basketball.
Wooster gets the inbounds pass out of the timeout, gives it to Holmes. Holmes drives, kicks it out, three-pointer up from Big Nell, and of course, Big Nell knocks it down, 66-60.
She is keeping Western in this game all by herself.
She's now got 15 points. Her and Wooster combining for 30 at 15 apiece. But it's been Big Nell in crunch time as Hilborn gets it across the court. Gets it off to Swanek, back to Hilborn, now to Salonen. Salonen, one of the more clutch players on this Carroll team as she's grown to show, gives it to Hilborn. Hilborn to Garretts. Garretts to Swanek. 8 on the shot clock. Swanek looks to improvise. She drives, picks up her dribble, looks to put one up, fade away, and that one's no good off the rim. Rebounded by Holmes. Bulldogs are off to the races. Holmes up the court quickly. She drives on Wegner, kicks it out. Bulldogs continue to swing the ball around. It's Wooster at the top of the key now. Wooster kicks it to the wing. Big Nell drives, and she loses control, hits off her leg, goes out of bounds, and that's a turnover. It's Saints basketball. Christine Denny re-entering the game, giving Maddie Garretts a break. Garretts has played some great minutes, but in foul trouble with 4.
Yeah.
Hilborn.
Well, I think the game has been played at such a great pace. You've got to keep people fresh. Yeah.
Both coaches doing a great job cycling players in and out of this game. Hilborn up the court to Salonen on the elbow. Salonen inside to Wegner. Wegner pulls it back, drives baseline, tries to pass it to the corner, and it hits off of a Carroll player. Well, the side ref here originally ruled it was Carroll ball, but the baseline ref on the backside, who had a better view of hitting the ball,
Carroll can't be turning the ball over at this point in the ball game. You got to take care of the ball. This is getting into crunch time.
Leading by 6, it's Wooster who drives baseline, blocked by Salonen, but not before it goes in the hoop, and a foul is called, and 1 for Shannon Wooster. 66-62, just like that, it's a 4-point game, and Wooster has a chance to make it a 3-point game. So a couple back-to-back mistakes there by the Saints, and that could come back to bite them late in this game.
Yeah.
Here's Wooster. Her first free throw's up and knocks it down. So she completes the 3-point play. 66-63 is your score now. Big possession here for the Saints as they look to get some of that lead back. Hilborn to Denny. Denny takes it coast to coast off the glass. No good. Rebound Big Nell. Just like that, the Dogs have the ball in a one-possession game. Big Nell takes it up the court, loses control for a second, passes it out. With it is Holmes. Holmes inside to Meyer, and the foul is called. Not sure where. They'll get Denny for a foul. Denny only her second foul, and I believe we're into the bonus now. Yep, 15 foul for the Saints. Meyer will shoot 2. So like you always say, Coach, giving them a chance to go to the line, and the clock stops. You know, they get to put points on the board with no time running off. So if you're Western, you got to be happy with that outcome as Meyer misses the first free throw. So maybe not. I guess that's a good foul by Christine Denny.
Well, Big Nell's the one that's made all her free throws.
At the line, Western tonight is 14 of 15. First miss for Meyer. Saints only go to the line 4 times. They're 2 of 4. And Meyer misses her second. It's rebounded by Salonen, and a nice break for the Saints there. And Coach Woolley not too happy about that. Nevertheless, it's Saints basketball, and Hilborn goes to Denny on the elbow. Denny out to Wegner. Wegner takes her dribble, kicks out to Swanek. Swanek over to Hilborn. Hilborn on the wing, out to Salonen. Salonen inside. Swanek puts it up. No good on the jumper. Good look for Swanek. 2:18 left in the fourth. Saints leads by 3 still, 66-63. Holmes up the court quickly. She goes to Big Nell. And I think we're going to see a lot of Big Nell shots late in this game as she drives. Pump fakes. Picks up her dribble. She goes to Holmes. Holmes on the wing. Holmes drives baseline, picked up by Swanek. Picks up her dribble, and it's knocked loose on the pass by Hilborn. Hilborn over to Wegner. Wegner on the drive. She puts it up with her left. Shot no good, but Danny Wegner will go to the line to shoot 2 free throws.
And really outstanding defense by Carroll that possession. Western ran some real good offense. Carroll just refused to give them a good look.
And Holmes it was Holmes, I believe, who drove baseline, was picked up, and Swanek made her pick up her dribble. And when she tried to kick it out to Wooster, Hilborn wasn't even necessarily looking at the ball. It was like face guarding like we see in football, and she hit it off the back of her hand because she was denying the ball. Wagner's first free throw's up and no good. So the free throw shooting woes for Carroll continue. 2 of 5 on the night. But
they have 5 free throws. Isn't very many free throws to shoot on a night.
No.
And that's due to the Western zone defense.
Wagner's second is up, and she knocks it down. So it's a 4-point game, 67-63. Wooster running point. We got a great ball game here in the PE Center. 1 minute, 46 seconds on the clock. Saints lead by 4, and it's stolen by Salonen. The great defense from Carroll continues. Salonen to Hilborn. Hilborn running point for the Saints. Hilborn, Wagner, Salonen, Swanek, and Denny on the floor now for Carroll. Wagner picks up her dribble. She's trapped on the side, and Coach Sayers will call a timeout.
And Western went to a man-to-man defense there, aggressive, and Carroll wasn't quite ready for it. Western has not played any man-to-man tonight, all zone, but down 4 with a minute and a half to go, they jumped into that zone there.
30-second timeout called, so we'll keep it right here.
The man-to-man.
And I imagine Coach Sayers probably calling that timeout so she can put in a new play to run against that man defense.
Yeah, and to remind the girls, they're playing man-to-man now. We got 13 seconds on the shot clock, and make sure we get a good shot. Probably maybe a high on ball, I would think. Maybe involving Swanek and probably one of the post players, maybe Salonen.
Salonen has been the go-to in crunch time at the forward position for the Saints. Well, 67-63. The Saints lead the Bulldogs, and we just have had such a wonderful game so far. And now it's time for the Saints to try and clinch it with a 4-point lead and under a minute and a half left. They have 13 on the shot clock as Hilborn inbounds it to Denny. Denny takes it herself, kicks it out to Wagner. Wagner, step back 3. Off the rim, no good. Denny gets the rebound. Denny out to Wagner. Wagner goes to Hilborn, and Coach Sayers tells him to slow down and set up a new play. 15 seconds on the shot clock now. Minute 9 on the game clock. Swanek over to Denny on the wing, and Denny draws the foul.
And I don't think that was a good foul.
No.
Because there was only 9 seconds left on the shot clock.
That'll also be Bignell's. Yeah. Bignell's 4th foul, and Savannah Bignell, I've called her Sierra a couple times tonight, but working on that. That's on me. 67-63 though, and Denny will have a chance to give the Saints 2 more points. And Denny, she's been playing so hard tonight. A lot of good rebounds. We just saw her get that offensive board. Her shot is up and good. Denny with 13 points now after the free throw, and 4 Saints right now in double figures. Wagner with 16, Denny with 14 now after the second make, Salonen with 10, and Swanek with 13. Bignell, got to be careful with the ball with the way she plays. She's got 4 fouls. Bignell up the court, kicks it out, 3-pointer up, and that one's good. It's Brinley Fitzgerald. She knocks it down, and it's a 3-point game once again, 69-66, and a foul called. It didn't quite have the angle there as the foul happened in the corner there. Savannah Bignell just got called, and that's her 5th foul, so she'll have to go to the bench. She's fouled out of this ball game.
Yeah. I think it was a very physical foul the way the crowd reacted, but we could not see it.
All I heard was a little thud on the ground.
And then a big moan by the crowd.
Yeah, and Coach Sayers making her way all the way up to half court, looking to see what was going on, but Coach Sayers always wanted to protect her players. Hilborn will step to the line as the ref goes and explains what happened to Coach Sayers. Coach Sayers, where she's at, I imagine she probably didn't have as good of an angle as even us, as Hilborn makes her first.
And she struggled at the free throw line, so that was a big make right there.
Sometimes you just need to see the ball go in the hoop.
You do.
Hilborn up with it, and she knocks
2
it
big
down.
ones.
Yeah, 2 huge free throws for Hilborn. Those will give her 8 points on the night. 54 seconds left in the game. Saints lead by 5, 71-66. Here's a drive, easy bucket for Wooster. Saints will inbound. It's Denny inbounding against a full court press. Coach Sayers calls a timeout. Coach Sayers with some choice words. About 4 players left, but with 49 seconds left, might as well keep it right here.
Yeah.
71-68, a 3-point lead, and there's been a big exchange of buckets in this fourth quarter. But Carroll still in the driver's seat, leading by 3 with 49 seconds, but we've seen stranger things happen.
Well, Western just hit a couple of big buckets. They hit a 3 in the corner. They hit a drive from the top. You just can't go to sleep, and you don't know who's going to make it, but Western's got a lot of girls that can score. Now, in this situation, Carroll's got a sideline out of bounds, 3-point lead, 30 seconds on the shot clock. So they're going to want to run a little bit of clock and maybe try to take a shot, close to the end of the shot clock. But Western might foul right away.
Who do you think
Western might foul.
Who do you think Carroll tries to get the ball to here?
Probably Hilborn.
Yeah, I like it.
No.
Inbound, and they go to Denny, and Denny will get fouled quick. So
that's the Western. Some guys will, he's thinking, I'm going to make you beat me at the free throw line.
Yeah,
that's what Coach Woolley's thinking.
And you can go either way there.
Yeah.
With under 50 seconds left. I mean, you can work the shot clock and hope to force a stop and hope to hit a 3. But Denny goes to the line now, and she hits her first. She makes it a 2-possession game now.
That's a big free throw.
She'll shoot one more. Her second one's up, and that one's no good. So not a bad foul by the Bulldogs as Denny splits the pair at the line. 40 seconds on the game clock. Wooster takes it up the court. She's guarded by Hilborn. It's knocked loose on the pass by Salonen, and Salonen fouls Meyer as she's looking to recover the ball. Meyer will go to the line for 2 shots.
And Meyer was a little shaky with her free throw last time. She's a little younger, and her free throw is not surely as pure as some of the other girls.
Yeah, Meyer only a redshirt freshman out of Moscow, Idaho. She'll put up her first and knocks it down. So after missing her 2 last time at the line, she makes her first of this pair.
That one looked pretty good.
She'll shoot one more. Yeah, that one was nothing but net, of course. One more shot for the redshirt freshman. And it rims out, no good. Rebound Denny, and just like that, we're at a 3-point game again. And Denny will go to the line.
So Coach Woolley has decided he's going to make this a free throw shooting contest. And that's not bad. It's not bad strategy.
Wagner will sub in and give Lyman a break. Christine Denny going to the line for some big shots. Saints looking to hold on. It's been a battle all game, 4 quarters. Denny's first free throw is good. There hasn't been a lead in this game that's been more than 9 points. The largest lead of the game was Carroll by 9 points. Of course, Western started with a 7-0 run to start off the game. But now Denny makes them both, and that 7-0 run doesn't seem to matter as the Saints lead by 5, and they look to close this game out. Wooster takes it up the court. 25 seconds on the game clock, 22 on the shot clock. Here's Holmes. Holmes drives. 16 on the game clock. Deep 3 up, and she knocks it down. That's Jenny Weber.
Holy cow, that was a tough shot.
And a long pass over the top to Wagner, and Wagner gets it up the court with 12 seconds left.
A very tough shot.
A very, very tough shot. Wagner will go to the line for 2. She gets fouled.
With a 2-point lead, she needs to make them both.
Yeah. Just to walk you through what just happened there, as Lyman will check in, but she'll sub in for the shooter, so she'll wait. It was a running deep 3, kind of moving forward by Weber. Wagner's first free throw up, and she knocks it down. But Weber hasn't played too many minutes tonight, so that's a big shot for her to come in and hit.
They have a lot of girls for Western that have stepped to the plate tonight. This is the free throw that matters right here.
Second one up from Wagner. Rim, in, and good. Danny Wagner sinks them both. Clutch shots by the junior from Havre. Timeout called by Western. 32nd, and obviously we'll keep it here again. Right now, the Saints lead by 4, and at this point, they just need to hang on. Well, hope that they don't hit any more crazy 3-pointers.
The big thing is don't foul the 3-point shooter.
Yeah.
That's what you're talking about. Just get a hand up and make sure there's no contact. If she makes it, we still got a 1-point lead. So 4-point lead with Carroll, 12 seconds left, and Western would like to hit a 3 here. Yeah, and maybe get fouled while they do it.
Don't foul the shooter like you said, and now with 12 seconds left in the game, both teams will take the floor from the timeout 76-72. Carroll leads. On the floor for the Saints, it will be Salonen, Denny, Lyman, Swanek, and Hilborn. For the Dogs, inbounding the ball will be Paige Holmes. Holmes out there with Meyer. as well as Fitzgerald and Wooster. It's stolen off the inbounds pass by Lyman. Lyman will get fouled. She'll go to the line for 2.
Big play by Jaden. And Coach Sayers just substituted her for that very thing. That quickness and anticipation that she brings to the court.
You know, Jaden Lyman, her favorite player is Nate Robinson. And Nate Robinson, once upon a time, was a starting cornerback for the Washington Huskies football team. And there's Lyman doing her best cornerback impersonation right there, stealing that pass. Her first free throw's up, and it's good. Back to a 5-point lead, and this one will just about do it for the Saints with 10 seconds on the clock. Lyman gets it back, steps to the line. Shot up, and she knocks it down. Lyman hits them both. 78-72, the Saints lead by 6. And another timeout called by Coach Woolley. We'll go ahead and stay here as there's just 10 seconds left in the ball game. But wow, what a display of basketball tonight.
It
by
really
these
was
two
great,
teams.
great. And I was concerned, to be honest with you, about how much Carroll would have in the tank after, a short turnaround. And this game was played at tremendous pace, up and down, but both coaches substituted. But you said something, Daniel, about the fourth quarter. It's been Carroll's good quarter. They've played well in the fourth quarter. And the conditioning, whatever they're doing, I would say stay with it.
Yeah, and I know Coach Sayers is never afraid to make someone run.
Yeah.
So here they are, and 78-72. And don't forget, coming up is the post-game show built by Builders First Source before we transition in it to the men's game, which is the second game of this doubleheader. Inbound to Wooster. 8 seconds on the clock. Wooster drives. She'll put one up, and that one's good. 78-74. It's a 4-point game, and the Saints got to inbound this ball. Lyman will get fouled, and now Lyman will once again have a chance to really just bury this game. 78-74. 3.6 seconds left, and this game's about over as Lyman will look to bury it. And just another gritty performance by this team.
It was a good, and both teams, just
yes.
You got to give credit to both teams. Carroll just a little bit better second half. It was 50-50 at halftime, and Carroll played just a little bit better the second half, and especially the fourth quarter.
Like Coach Sayers said in her pregame interview, all these teams in the Frontier Conference on the women's side are receiving top 25 votes.
Yeah.
So there's not an easy game in this conference. Here's the inbound. Wooster will take it up the court. She'll take a deep 3 at the buzzer. She'll knock it down. Not sure if they'll count it. They will count it. So 80-77. I think that might have been after the buzzer, but it's not going to affect the outcome of the game. So we'll be all right. High scoring affair tonight as it's 80-77. Your final on the Capital Collision Center scoreboard. And that to come off of a 56-54 low scoring win on Wednesday. The Saints can fight every which way, and that's a big win for Coach Sayers and her team. And we're going to look to hear from Coach Sayers on the post-game show built by Builders First Source. But before then, we're going to take a break. 80-77, Saints beat the Bulldogs here on Rewind 94.9 and on KCAP.com.